We are a few minutes delayed. Uh, I would like to invite Suresh Kavili. Good afternoon, Suresh. Uh, so thank you for joining the session again. Very interesting to see you. Okay, so thank you, Suresh. I just a quick round of introduction to Suresh Kavali. So before that, so we have I think three more sessions left today. Suresh Kavali will speak on technology, so AI driven in logistics, and we have railway logistics by Krishna. Then we have contract logistics and excellence in 3PL by Rajesh Selvan, and then we will have a balanced scorecard for 3PL companies. So there are four sessions left, including this. Okay, so I would like to introduce Suresh Kavali to the audience. Uh, Suresh, so first of all, thank you, Suresh, for joining. Nice to see you again. Look fresh,
Thank you, Darshan.
as usual. It's very dynamic. Okay, so thank you. So Suresh Kavali is a dynamic leader with a proven track record in building customer-centric, innovative business solutions. Expert in low-code, no-code development in Azure, AI, ML, analytics, and cloud computing. He delivers data-driven insights and impactful results. He's a mentor, motivational speaker, inspiring teams, fostering innovation, and driving operational excellence. So he's really a technology guru, and he's a good friend of mine. So thank you, Suresh, for joining the session. Stage is yours. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Abdul, and it's my pleasure to connect here and then to present my case. And thank you for the opportunity. So let me take it forward. I'm sharing my screen. All right. Hope you could see my screen. Please acknowledge.
Yeah, it is visible. Yes, it is visible.
Okay. All right. Yeah. After driving close to 3 decades of my experience, the one thing I realize is there's not much difference between our professional the tactics and technical tools that we use or the operational activities we do one way the other way all of them are connected to the our personal life directly or indirectly. That's one thing it's very clear to me. There is so much of synonymity between these two if you're able to understand both the sides. So our session is like on AI driven logistics. So why do we need to have AI in place? First of all, why do we need to have the logistics in place? Why supply chain is important for one like you and me and as well as the entire world. So, and what is that we are contributing to make someone better, someone's life better. So I'll just give you a few examples before diving into this because it's very important. The context understanding and why we are doing something, and it is super most important before going to the AI world. That's what last 4 years, 5 years that I have been driving into the various AI solutions. I have been realizing the understanding of the context and having the right things in place. So I'll just give two examples. I think in my one of the last sessions, I was telling about the Suez Canal where uh, the ship got stuck and it made almost 5 to 7 days stuck over there. That caused several billions of around 12 billions uh, of the loss for the various other containers not able to move forward. Uh, that is at the business side loss. I'll give you another simple example. I read a news just in last 1 week time. One of in this Telugu states, like in one of the district, the farmers who are like growing the banana, the raw banana fell down to the cost of like 2 rupees per kg. Can we imagine 2 rupees per kg? The same thing if I want to buy in Hyderabad here, I am buying almost paying somewhere around 40 to 70 rupees in between, not less than 40 rupees for at least last 1 decade time. So why it is 2 rupees there somewhere, and why it is 40 to 60 rupees for here. That is where the complexity of the supply chain involves. Fine, we are so fortunate, whoever is attending the session over here. We are so fortunate that uh, we are the next stage of our better life compared to the many other people in the world. But imagine that 2 rupees per kg, if you yourself or me myself or our parents are in that place, how difficult the situation for them to manage their expenses and their livelihood. Very tough. That's where optimization of the logistics before the AI and with AI and next to the AI is always important, and we need to have that one in the picture. So I just gave a couple of the sample images over here, like where in the Suez Canal, whatever the ship halt happened for extended period of, let's say, a week time. Imagine if there is some medical equipment that need to be come to your place, that where like you are your uh, the belonging ones is undergoing certain treatment and you are stuck because of that Suez Canal incident. Then we know the importance of it. So that way, it has a great role to play, optimization of the supply chains across the world. So I think with that context, with that inner meaning, let me dive into the session. What is that AI can do to make it better, and where we stand at present, what challenges we have, what use cases that AI can get involved to make it better, and then what technologies are tech stacks that we need to use and how to build. I'll just run through these high level topics for next 45 minutes. Hope everything is clear from my side, the voice and as well as picture. All right. So, as Abdulji explained, given the brief intro about me, so I have been a technologist. Along with that, I do played several other roles: management, leadership, and entrepreneurship, and sales, whatnot. I enjoy doing multiple things. New waters always encourages me with the full energy. So, getting into the main subject. So, what are the challenges today? Why the 2 rupees banana over there somewhere, just 500 kilometers away, is costing 40 rupees over here? Take that particular small example. So, having these the complexities involved over here, just given few of the complexities involved, the unpredictability, where why that 2 rupees fallen, the main reason at the origin, like not having the enough idea of what is the yield of the crop that is coming in that season across that area or state. That is the primary one, where farmers are not forecasted that how their life is going to be after that, whatever the 3 or 6 months of uh, the crop life cycle that they undergo. So that is the predictability was not there from their side, and the enough systems are not in place to get that kind of information for them to get. That is where it first it gone wrong. Number one. Number two, then the supply chain across the India, various states and the cities and the other exports, whatever the other countries, how it is in the other places, and like what are the channels that we have and what is the shortest route I can take, what is the lowest cost that I can apply so that I can get these farmers benefited. So that unpredictability, one is from the farmer side. At the same time, yes, obviously, we have the easy blame on government always, as we individuals don't have that power of managing all these at the field level. But government, yes, absolutely. So if they can think, they can organize and make it better and better. So there is the unpredictability of the various supply chain demands and the yield that is coming out of that particular region. All this causes that situation. Lack of the visibility. That is, morning also, like we had like the sessions by I have seen like Sunil Bharadwaj and as well as Mr. Shankaran. So they have given the insight about the importance of having the more communication and as well as more collaboration and as well as the cleaner data in place, the valuable data in place for somebody to come up the next action plan. That's exactly the lack of visibility in terms of not having the enough data points and insights in place that caused that situation. What happened that farmers simply, rather than selling that per 2 rupees, because they will not get even that whatever the plucking and the packaging cost. So they just uh, use a tractors to just go ahead and then put them down and not to be useful, those bananas. That's the action that they took. Uh, so raising costs, as we have seen the inflation, last at least we could see 1 to 2 decades time, no way comparable. At least I could see that. I mean, uh, I used to get as low as uh, a dozen bananas, like 12 bananas for 1 rupee at the night around in 9 o'clock in my native place when I was in my 10th class studies. And no way can imagine today the banana we are buying here 80 rupees, even in the villages also we are buying not less than 40 to 50 rupees. So that way the inflation cost is the always up and up. So fueling to the all other whatever the transportation, storage, and the in between whatever the labor that is involved, everywhere there is a cost increase. So we have to accept all these facts. And at least we have seen the comparison of 3 decades time, yeah, 4 decades time, not even 3 decades time. So 4 decades time, if I see the like 1 rupee for 12 bananas is now 80 rupees. So that's what the life that we are seeing. So that way always the costs are increasing and operational inefficiencies. Why? Because as long as human is in the place, like the human operations are error prone. There's no exception to anybody, you, me, or anyone. We tend to do the mistakes. The repeated mistake is not acceptable, but mistakes keeps happening. So compliance and risks. So there are certain regulators across the food and transportation, all other the health and all these compliances that we need to manage, and we need the smooth delivery and as well as the uh, shape of the items that we need to deliver, and speed and accuracy of the demand. So if you identify that, for example, as I said, 2 rupees banana, if somewhere else, if that problem is like where there's a demand, that information is readily available, and if you have the channels how to reach there before that the banana expiry time of 1 to 2 days for transportation. So still the things can be made, but you need to have that kind of accurate information. So these problems, whatever are already present across the world, the example that I gave, we can definitely see that using the AI, we can solve them far better. And you and me, everyone is using today ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, and all this AI at one side. Uh, that is the general usage of the large languages that they deployed, and we are using it. That is at one side. The other side, like being I'm a techie, I use a lot of AI-enabled tools for my programming and architecting and the other the aspects of it. So where we could see that using the tools like ChatGPT and all these, if you are going to be 10 times powerful than you normally working, then using these AI generating tools for the coding and other activities in the technology side and all documentation side, you are 100 times superpower. So that's how these tools are working in terms of the benefits. I'll deep dive more into that as we progress. But that's how the importance of AI is attracting the market. And in the AI again, in last 4 years, the shift has been happened from uh, the legacy, whatever the traditional AI, to the generative AI, to the vertical AI, to the agentic AI. from there to the edge AI or physical AI. This is the transformation that is happening, and it is happening at a very rapid speed, like unimaginable. Just in 4 years, so much the change is happening. For every 6 months, you tend to see that a new thing is coming up. Both I'm not speaking at the much lowest level, like in terms of the MCP servers. Uh, all this I'm not in the discussion, but at least in the higher level, that is how the change has been at very rapid speed. It is happening. That is the power of the AI. So making use of the AI is necessary for every person, every industry, and every organization, and every field, every country, so that we all can advance to the next level and make use of it. So there's no, I mean, always with every innovation, the new things that's coming up in the market, always there is a both pros and cost side. So always we look into the benefits out of it rather than be too much bargaining about the negative side of it. Okay. So then what is AI driven logistics? So with the manual driven logistics and with the AI driven logistics. In the manual driven logistics in the supply chain, what do we do? The decisions are made by the humans. Whoever is working in that the floor in terms of like manufacturing or in terms of warehouse or in the logistics, wherever the person is taking the decision. So for that person, how the decision will be made based on the certain availability of the information in hand, they're making the decision. Now we just spoken about the power of the AI. The power of the AI, I just explained 10 times and 100 times, and even you can quantify much more than that. So with that rapid the transformation of information and the pulling and pushing the information and translating that into the meaningful insights, all this can happen just in milliseconds, not necessarily in seconds. That's the power of the AI. So with AI in place, now the decision making can go much more faster and accurate. That is the advantage before we get driving into the low level tools and how it is going to be. But fundamentally, the human decision making to the system decision making with the help of the agents, why that came into the picture now, why it is so like in the so much of hype now compared to the earlier. So in the traditional AI, we didn't have that the NLP slash NLU, that is natural language processing and natural language understanding capability for the traditional AI. With Gen AI in place and all other tools that is coming around it are capable of that one small piece in the lowest level, we call that as a AI node on top of several other things. So that is so powerful that takes your instructions, behaves like a human. That human is not a normal human, it is a superhuman, like who is having lot of data connectivities and data processing power and data insights, and automatically taking the certain decisions based on the data that it analyzed. That is where the power of the AI agents that is coming into the picture. All right. So to make it to work better, to make it more uh, the fruitful results it need to result produce. So for that, we'll just go over certain the use cases and the architectural and the technologies that we use to make it better. So it is a AI agent. Shall I look into any AI agent surrounding to me? There's nothing. It is just our concept of mind and the system. So it works on our direction. What you feed in, what you get out. So in the other terms, we tend to call if you feed garbage, you'll get the garbage out. If you feed the right information, you'll get the right insights out. So that's how it works. So for that, couple of these things like the predictive analytics, AI agents, and computer vision and workflow automations, all these are the various building blocks of this entire ecosystem. That's how it works. So let me take it to the next. How it works. Building several AI solutions in last, I mean, decade time. So we tend to see that what makes more important and what is the hierarchy of the process that it takes place. So the data collection, it's very important. So what data you collect, from where you collect, how you collect, when do you collect, and how frequently you are connecting, and how soon you are sourcing that data to your the AI or any other analyzers. So you tend to use the edge AI, like where lot of sensors. Today our cars and the home appliances like your fridge, washing machine, geyser, fan, and everything is just going by the IoT sensors and it is operating. So that's how it is everywhere. Then all the new equipment, new things, whoever is going to the market, they're preferring that to go for the IoT sensor enabled. That's how we see that. Even recently, couple of the times when I have participated in certain conferences, whatever the gift that they are giving, at least in 3 4 occasions I have seen, whatever that water bottles or any other the equipment that coming, everything is A enabled today. The temperature, the water bottle which is having like the A enablement, like where for every 1 hour, if you don't drink the water, if you don't take that water from the bottle, that is coming up with a kind of different colors. It is automatically exposing inside that, kind of alerting you without any noise, just colors like that. So much is happening at the edge side now. The market is the agentic AI and the edge AI. The physical AI is going to be the market demand for next few months to, I mean, I cannot guarantee even years, because again the quantum computing, the another big the learning curve. I don't want to put the words like a threat or all these. I don't see the life in that way. I would pretty much see that it is more advancing us in terms of various data processing and benefiting us. As I said, if you see that I as a person, I'm not in that bad need of any of these. I am having this quite sophisticated life. But the example that I gave, that two-piece banana and some patient on the hospital bed, if you take that, if you include I to the we, then the need we tend to automatically attach, and we feel the necessity of how the non-AI world to the AI world to the quantum world that we are moving is going to benefit. It's not about I, it is going to be everyone on the earth. If we are able to benefit, if we're going to make everyone's life better, so we'll be having the far better life than the current what we all are experiencing. That's how I see that. That's the importance of the IoT sensors at the edge computing, which is having in place for us to get it. So the telematics, like where you tend to get all the performance metrics and the vehicle movements and RFID barcodes for your vehicle tracking, and as well as the other auto e-commerce activities and external APIs. Like nowadays, see that all these came to our, I could say that the enrichment, like where the API driven, if somebody technology person in the conference, like in the event, like where you tend to see that in the initial, we used to build the API driven applications only if my application is having the integration with the other application. Then only I tend to go for the API driven application, or those specific modules or silos of the data to build that into the API enabled, so that the other application can access it. That was the need where it started when the first time the API came into the market. Uh, just to give a second, sorry for the disturbance. The same bottle is somehow leaking. Let me put that down. Uh, yeah, as I touched that bottle, it stopped it. It's exactly. I think my kid just turned it on and then she left, so it just beeping me with colors. As I just touched it, it just stopped it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, please
All
go.
right.
No worries.
So the external APIs like Last decade time, if I see, as I'm into the deep into architecting several, I mean, most of the technologies, let be Java, .NET, Python, whatever it is. So uh, now we built it, we separated the applications, irrespective of either you have the integration with other applications or not. Within your application also, we have divided everywhere. I tend to see that front end code, back end code, two silos separated. So by market demand, where the edge computing came place, not the edge AI, edge computing. When the edge computing came into the picture, where the smart devices started playing the role, we felt make the front end as a as lighter version as possible. That is the origin for having the APIs within your application itself. Forget about the integrations. So by default, all your business logic and everything has been data has been exposed in the form of APIs. So now those APIs are kind of for the agents to build, agents to build for the effective AI. If you want to use, I just simply say that there are a couple of nodes. That is, one of the key node is HTTP node, other one is AI node, and there are a few other ancillary nodes in terms of email, wait, start, stop, whatnot. So, but these are very powerful. The moment if I unplug HTTP node and AI node from the agent world, no agent can function. To that extent, it is important the external APIs how it is playing. I'm just connecting the 10 years back before the AI agents in place, how that industry has been translated automatically. That's how I see that the enrichment of the data and the applications will help us to make it better and better as we move forward. The next one is data processing. So the data collection is one thing. The next one is data processing. If I review myself, at least gradually, last, I mean, 30 years in the industry, like last 10 years or last 5 years and last uh, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, five months, 6 months, 1 month, if I see that I'm more building myself rather than a kind of AI engineer or enterprise architect, a kind of perfect data analyst, perfect prompt engineer. These are the two core things today in my mind, which is lingering rather than all other ones. Because I see these are making everything else so powerful. If you want to build a powerful AI agent or AI application, you need to have proper data in place and excellent the prompt engineering skills so that you can bring up. So the amount of time we are spending in terms of generating the application and tuning it, I shifted that exactly same amount of time towards optimizing the prompts and getting the prompts better and better to produce your results much more faster, and having the data cleansing and the data classification and the pinecone creation of the various indexes and all that are very important for your AI to work. Otherwise, how efficient AI system you build, if the data is not optimally organized, cleansed, then you are going to be not taking the benefits of the AI system that you build. That is that extent that processing of data is important that I would like to stress. Then the pipeline, ML pipeline, like in terms of what kind of the algorithms that you are going to place over there, plays a bigger role. Like in terms of we have the predictive algorithms, and as well as we have the supervised and unsupervised, the clustering, classification, and the time series, and the reinforcement, and all these recommendation analysis, and all these the various types of the ML, the algorithms that we have to be applying them as and when needed into the right place based on your data and the need that you are going to apply. What you want to have? Do you want to the insights out of the existing models, or you want to have the predictive of how that situation is going to be after 3 months or 1 month or next day? So based on that, you have to apply that so that you can get the much more benefit out of it. Then it comes to the AI agents. So today, You can apply the AI agents everywhere. Let me simplify rather than glorifying that AI agent is something different. Let me simplify that in a simple terms. So, AI agent is something which is going to take its own decisions based on certain data that it analyzes, or certain information reaches to that agent, which will be able to find out the insights to take the next step. That is what the agent key role. But in order to do that, so we need to provide a small workflow in place. In every A agent, a small workflow is in place. In the small workflow, you are providing that what is the data source, under what conditions you are going to operate, and how. And once you the occurrence of that particular incident happens, or situation event occurs, what is that you need to perform? These instructions you will be providing as part of that workflow. This is something not new to us. We have been doing the all the what I could say, uh, uh, schedulers, the nightly schedulers, using the Quartz.net and the Quartz, etc. All this we have been already doing last 2 decades time. Then what is different now? As I said, that HTTP node and the AI node making all the difference. Where you are naturally conveying that when this kind of situation occurs, you take the call like this. Means rather than you going by the exact match, which was the earlier the scheduler case, the exact match equation you are giving. Today you are not giving that exact match equal statement. You are kind of narrating something which is similar to that. The synonym can be automatically picked up and handled by the A agent, so that it can give you much more powerful results than earlier, and it can be self resilient on its own to take the actions. That is how I could say simply earlier was a hard coded one, now this is the dynamic. That's how it works. So otherwise the concept is not new, concept is same. You should not be too much afraid of it, but the techniques we are applying, the technology we are applying is definitely a little advanced one, so we need to be a bit aware of it. So I do have a few examples that I have shown, so that uh, you'll be equipped with how to build these things. All right. Now the integration, there is another problem. So integration is one of the I could say the systems, the integration of the various tools, applications, and within the ecosystem of the ecosystem ERP, whatever the other components like warehouse and transportation and CRM and all these platforms together integration, and they connecting to the several other applications outside is definitely a bit of challenging one. To simplify that, the MCP, the model context protocols, are in place, so one can also can start using that to make it a little simpler. All right. So I just mark the data processing as one of the important item here. That's definitely one of the key takeaways from this session. So we all need to take that in mind. So then, what are the predictive logistics use cases that we can think within the supply chain? So, demand forecasting. So, based on the historical data, so we all know that if summer comes in, like where the painting will start. So, the usage of certain products will be much higher during the winter. Certain items are higher in the summer. So, based on that earlier historical data, you'll be able to predict how it is going to be for the coming week or month or days. So same way, based on the routing, like where the various traffic conditions and weather conditions. Suppose to fly to the Delhi right now, the weather condition there is like where it's uh, fog slash smoke. It is kind of smog. There is a possibility of both flights and trains getting delayed because it's almost zero visibility or very less visibility for them to take off and uh, bring down. So that way, the predictions same is applicable. I told you trains and aeroplanes, but what about of course cargo is there too, but vehicles even when we are driving in recent days in some places when all of a sudden like morning till 10 a.m. also we have seen that foggy nature where it won't let you to drive beyond 30-40 kilometers. Well, you can happily drive at 90 to 100 on the highways, but I mean the weather condition is not supporting you. See, so it is impacting the drivers, the truck drivers who are transporting. Imagine for thousands of kilometers they drive. So if couple of situations where they undergo that kind of the weather condition, automatically the delays happens. So if you have that kind of information handy with you, where your AI agent is connected to the weather condition, let's say that from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we tend to see that the vehicles are moving for various goods carrying. So if you have this real time uh, the traffic conditions and as well as the speed and the weather conditions captured and processed using the AI agent, it can definitely give you the prediction when your goods can arrive. Accordingly, you can plan the other side, whatever the labor or the urgency items, adjustment to the needy people, and all that can be taken care at the edge level. So that is how that prediction can help. So then inventory optimization, rather than human checking the records of the inventory, if you can assign the stock levels and as well as the certain routing to the conditions of the stock routing, like where suppose if you have fall below certain percentage of the stock, you go for the auto placement of the what you could say purchase orders. But while doing that, also ensure that you properly analyze the existing vendors and take the best vendor out of that based on your situation, how soon you want that material. One vendor might be very good, but he may give the things a bit delayed. Means it will take 3 days rather than 2 days. If there is sorry, if there is another vendor who can deliver in 2 days rather than 3 days, but he doesn't have that ranking like a another vendor. So AI need to take that control based on its need. It has to go with A or B vendor. So these all principles can be already given to the AI to take into consideration and perform. So predictive maintenance, same whatever the machinery that you are using and the vehicles you are using, if you are able to get the alerts for the predictive maintenance, that will save us both the human life and as well as the fuel and the cost saving across all the items. Then autonomous agents. You might see nowadays, like at least these Amazon warehouses, like where almost they kind of automated it. Their the human robots are making the transportation within that and self-control. So that's how we tend to see that moving forward. The door delivery, the autonomous routings, and the door delivery by the autonomous cars. Now it is just an experimental and a semi-usage level, but over the time, all this can become the reality across the world. Not necessarily right now only in the advanced countries, but in the future, we tend to see that within our country and all other countries too. Then in the self-optimizing, so how that works? Right now, that whatever that agent, the autonomous shipment carriers within the warehouse, they have the self-control. That is sensors from one to another. So that the sensors one to another will control that not to collide each other and manage it, stop one guy for the other guy to move and all that. So in the agentic world, so there is, as I said in the beginning itself, there is a pros and cons. I don't much concentrate on the cons, but we have to take the cons into consideration so that you can build the applications better. So one point I can uh, provide over here, we have like uh, I tend to attend so many events and understanding so many other large corporations, let it be Lenovo or Dell, HP, all these people who are into the both hardware and as well as the software side, they're producing so much in the AI world. So everywhere they tend to say that around 78% of the AI systems are not producing what expected. It's hardly that 22% the success rate with all the expectations. Why so? Fundamentally, understanding of the AI, having that enough knowledge, how to make it to work, and what to provide that to make it to work better, and how we can take that advantage of what it produced at next level. All these are the skill set that one need to develop and we need to have with us. That's where this particular slide, it is kind of the AI agent ecosystem. I would like to say that multi-agentic, multi-agentic flows means one agent will act as a kind of master agent controlling the other agents. So everywhere in the events, everyone says that AI works great for the POCs, proof of concept. But the moment if you deploy that for the enterprise, the performance is not as expected and it is not giving the results as expected. So I'm not happy with the AI. Why it is working in the POC, proof of concept? Why it is not working in the enterprise? Because the data set that we are using and the problem statement that we are solving at the POC is much smaller than the compared to the enterprise deployment that we do. So simply while you are doing your activity, suppose I have given here the demand forecasting and inventory optimization agent and logistic routing and customer service agent. There are four agents. So these four agents, I can solve the problem in a single statement, giving let's say that 1200 lines of prompt. I can do it and I can solve the problem at one go. But there is something known as a underlying somebody who is already into the deep into the AI building. There is a token consumption. There is a limitation on how much it can process. So it cannot process the whole lot of thing at a time. If you give it several thousands of records, lakhs of records, and TBs of data, and thousands of lines of prompts, if you give it, it has its limitation to go and do until it consumes that whatever the 2000 or 4000, the higher bracket of the tokens that it is having, it comes out. Whatever it finds, AI works in a fulfillment manner means you extended something, it will just fill the gap. That's how the AI works. It goes searches for your prompt, comes with the data, it satisfies, produces output. It won't care about did it scan everything, did it scan all the lines of prompt that you gave, the thousands of lines that you gave, all the data set it scanned. Those are not the capabilities of the AI. Those are the traditional SQL querying that we do. There we scan the, if the database having the millions of records, you will tend to scan all the millions of records. It will not come out without scanning all of them. But AI is not that world. So what you need to do is that same 1200 lines of your prompt, if you can subdivide that into the multiple the prompts for the smaller problem solving, you can find much more efficient results and accuracy. The probability is higher for you to get your results. Now control those small silos we using your what I could say a master agent, but it's going to cost much higher than we doing non-agentic way. AI is not cheap, by the way. AI is costly affair. But if you know, that's where the stress that I gave on the data since morning, the talk with the other speakers has been on the communication and the collaboration and having the right data in place and having the right data architect who can architect that into the right manner, can provide, instead of allowing scanning of your 1 million records, if you can give that thought process to the idea to the data, you can make it into the 10 buckets and source that individual bucket to the individual agent so that you can minimize your cost and you can optimize your results. That is where the multi-agent concept and the master and the worker agent concept comes into the picture. So in the similar note, warehouse or the route planning and for your documentation like invoicing on all this can be the purchase orders, all this can be automatically generated and automatically processed without any the human intervention. All these are possible. And the other ones are digital twins, where simulation of exactly the same environment. For example, your warehouse having all the racks and bins in place. So all that information, if you go as soon as you enter into the IKEA kind of store or any other large warehouses, if there is a the modulation system where if you're able to simulate the things, if you're able to check it out, you got the exact idea. Like if you watch a movie second time, you can process most of the information in in advance happening to the actual movie because you already have that knowledge. Same way, in the warehouse, in the other large stores, if you have these kind of digital twins, the simulation systems with the 3D modeling, so you'll be able to identify. Oh, okay, I need to go to the floor number 3, and then there is the rack number 25, which is on the rightmost corner of that the entry. Then there the 10th rack where I need to go and the pick the uh, 10th shelf or bin. So you have that kind of picturization in your mind in the case of the digital copy of it that you already have in the entry or the product that you want uh, when you enter into the store. So those are the things you can advance your uh, the time you spend in the shop and the time it takes for you to come out with your transaction from the store. So all these are the benefits that one can get by having the digital twins in place. All right. Same way for routing and load optimization and scheduling, you can build the individual agents, and there are already several companies already built and making use of that benefit. And these are a couple of the non-named, what you could say, the use cases. The third-party logistics and the retailers and e-commerce, they are already deployed, and there are many, many. I mean, the startup ecosystem unimaginable in India in the AI side, producing so much of the agentic stuff, and we can search and get it. I have few more slides in terms of how to do it. I'll just quickly give it. And we need to have that ROI and the KPIs while you're building any kind of your AI systems. Otherwise, like everyone else is building, you also get into it. At the end, only you realize that you burn out your cash and your energy and your the resources motivation. At the end, you declare that AI is not the way for you to go. That will result you in the bad way. So better you equip with everything in place first, then the enough knowledge and expertise in this field so that you can perform it better. I just gave the path over here. In the phase one, the readiness. Do you have the all the required whatever the equipment? What kind of models you are going to use it? Do you want CPU system, GPU systems, cloud? Which kind of storage? All that you need to have that kind of the readiness of your information and the data in place. And then what is the purpose that you are doing? That need to be clearly defined. Then you just the initial pilot and then you scale it to the next level whatever the add-on agents you tend to give it and power them to work together so that you can benefit the agentic flows and its outcomes and success factors for that to happen. Data quality and the cross-functional teams. That's the reason every speaker is saying about the communication, because at the end we humans who need to provide the data to the systems. If we don't provide, and another big use case, like I have seen a couple of the cases with the US government, they're coming up with certain RFP requirements where they say that they don't want to lose the legacy of the earlier the subject matter experts in certain fields like legal, etc. They don't want to lose that knowledge, so they want to build the AI systems in place to serve it for further generations. That's how they're coming up with the RFPs. I have seen that. All right, then implement something which is going to show you the immediate results so that it builds the motivation in the entire team so that they'll be having the zeal to perform further and then produce the results that we want. All right, then tech stacks that we need to use. All right, so quickly, whatever the earlier the IoT sensors and the each of the AI today is having.
Suresh Garu, can we just give a phase wise on just once again?
Uh,
The last slide. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Yes.
you want me to repeat for one
Very
more
good.
time?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Sure, sure,
Very interesting. Yes. Yes. Please proceed.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So to build the, I mean, this is what my note, but wherever I'm attending, even last evening I was in a big event outside. So almost every alternate week I'm in a event, either I'm speaking or listening. So everywhere people tend to quote that 70, 78% failures in the AI.
Yeah.
So for the failures to avoid for everyone, whoever is getting into this AI world, these are the building blocks to ensure you go in the right path. That is, the phase one is, are you ready? When you say are you ready, it's not about just having few developers. And then I have seen this. I mean, like developers, if you give them the data, they just go ahead and then how to process that data into the destination system is only the agenda for them. But in the data, do we need all the data in place? Are there any data items? Because this can't be migration, right? When we enter into the AI systems. By the way, we are not replacing any of the existing systems. If you are going to build a new ERP, new transportation, new logistics, new warehouse management systems, include the AI as a the inbuilt thing from the beginning itself. Otherwise, the current happening is in the market, the existing legacy, whatever the softwares we have in the ERP side and the all other the vertical solutions, transportation, warehouse, etc. Everywhere we are just trying to plug in the AI tools and AI techniques in place so that it can make use of the data from the existing legacy systems and make them much more powerful with the AI taking certain portion of activities and feeding back the data to the original system so that it can perform better under the real time. So for that, the readiness of your organization having the enough data. As I gave this example, if you just only have the developers in place in the system without the analyst slash architect slash somebody SME subject matter expert in the data, I mean, straight away saying that data. The reason is data, we all know the power of the data. Once you see the data, you can analyze so many patterns out of it and so many the unwanted stuff, etc. So you need to provide that what is needed for the AI to perform rather than handing over the entire data of your whatever you have. Because as I said, it works on the fulfillment mode. If you load it with the thousand fields data, it may have capacity of only scanning 5 to 50. So it may never produce what you want. So you need to nail it down. What is that you want to the silos, to the respective agents so that it can perform, like for example, your transportation data to the one agent, your weather to the one agent, your inventory to the one agent, your warehouse status and the whatever the equipment required to move those in and out, packaging, etc., to the another agent, and the supply demand forecasting and all these to the another agent. So for the customer service, another agent. If you can divide that into the multiple agents, your entire ERP data that is so far fueling into your system for decades of time can be broken into the a TB of data into the multiple GBs and multiple GBs of data into the just MBs so that AI can perform much more better. And also there are advanced technique. AI also evolving every quarter. That's how I'm saying it. Right now we have the metadata capability within the indexing DBs. That is metadata DBs. Sorry, the embedding DBs, the embedding data we store, we have the concept called metadata. So it can further help you. One is creating the multiple indexes, and one is having the multiple the metadata within the index can help the AI engine to get out of. I may have, let's say that 1 million records, but at the end 1 million records I'm cutting down to the only AI to process only, let's say, few hundreds to thousands of records. rather than it is bothering about millions of records. Number one. Number two, I may have my, let's say, 200 columns or 300 columns or 45 columns, but I need to judge what role those columns are playing in my AI engine to operate. So few things I need to handle using traditional SQL. Few things I need to handle using my traditional Java slash .NET slash Python, and a few things only I need to handle using AI where it is necessary to use it. Unless I break it down into the horizontal, vertical, and cross, both domain wise, data wise, use case wise, and the performance wise, and the ability of the AI in place, unless I do all these parameters in place, the AI cannot produce what we are expecting. That is the proven thing. I have been that's my personal experience. I didn't copy anything, that I have been seeing that, and I have, that's the reason now I'm hearing the hat of the data quality analyst and the data analyst so much in depth, because I see that more than AI, this is going to be much more bigger market for my consulting opportunity in the market. All right, so define the strategy. Just give me a second. Define the strategy. So for you you need to have the, what is the purpose that you are building it. You need to have that, the objective first defined. Is that cost reduction, or the speed that you are delivering, or better insights you are producing, or what is the portion of each one of that. Not every use case is same. So people cannot understand it. Data analyst can understand why certain data is, like for example, somewhere I was helping them in the application tracking system. They are into the IT consulting, but somebody uploaded. They are into the construction field. No way that resume is fit over here. When we reviewed, I cut it down to the one third of the data is just not required for the new system. So like that, we need to have certain the clear cut objective of what's the purpose of your system building, so that you can provide the right information and the right equations in place. Then you do the, as usual, the pilot. Means take one key area, that is achievable area, you deep dive that into that, and then build it. Find out a couple of the market leaders into the end businesses like healthcare or uh, whatever the pharma, etc., and experiment with them to see that how it is giving the results for them. Once you have the fruitful results from them, then you go ahead and then engage in the full blown implementation of the all the possible, what I could say, solutions within that ecosystem you tend to build it, so that it can fit into the market. So to do that, at the bottom I gave the data quality and the cross-functional team. Everybody need to contribute. Nobody should say that it's the AI team work or someone's. It's for the transportation team. It's not for the warehouse. It's not for the manufacturing. That's not the case. Everyone need to come together to provide the right data to the system at the right time. It's important. And then quick wins first. First you do something that you can quickly achieve it. Then you do the iterations over the time. So yes, we can do 10 times faster, 100 times faster, but the time, whatever it takes to build you a quarter time, you need to invest that time, not to be under the hurry of I can build it because of AI, I can build it in a month, I can deliver. No, we tried all that, we burned out, we realized that you need to give the decent time for the systems to build, and you can build it possibly. All right. So I can take up the questions very shortly. Uh, Here again in the similar mode, you having the whatever the agents you are building and all this the items you're building, API enabled, and having the enough connectors to the various systems in place. You have to ensure all this in place so that your agent building can be all these the building blocks for your agent. uh, and this is one of the supply chain regulators that we had a recent implementation for one of the major client. So like where the various compliance information and regulations that we receive, we tend to implement that within our supply chain ecosystem. So at the right time and the right information need to be produced and stored. So a 10 page or 20 page the policy document that we receive from the regulator, we applied the AI just to come out with the implementable and the task.
It seems the battery. So I think his Suresh's battery was running low. He did not plug in. It seems. Let's stay for a minute. Yeah. Praveen, can you check? His laptop battery was running low. It seems. Suresh Garu.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I think your battery ran out.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for
No problem.
inconvenience.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Uh,
Mhm.
all right. All right. So this is one of the strong use case we built, like where I'll just show you the outcome of it and what are the ways we can make use of to build it. So whenever we get the regulation, so we tend to prepare just the tasks that one need to implement. It could be the transportation company, it could be the warehouse, or it could be the manufacturing. Like what are the respective uh, the compliance that they need to adopt. So we used to just pull out the two, three, 4 tasks that need to be done out of the 10-page document, so that the time that the earlier the consultants used to take to process it and to define what need to be done can be just in few minutes now. As soon as the regulators they like present it within their sites, we are downloading it in the real time manner. So as soon as they release it, in the next 5 minutes, you know what need to be done on that the 5 defined tasks. Earlier, it used to be at least 2 to 3 weeks reaching from the one to another, and their processing, reading, understanding, etc. That we cut down to the 2 weeks time to the just 5 minutes. So then further, all that whatever the regulations are there, we further kind of like formalized it that somebody like who is not build the AI systems can come over here and then search for his domain specific regulations and get that circulars out and what the tasks and all that. That is where like whatever I was explaining in terms of to make the AI to work better. On the left side, whatever you see that acts, rules, and circulars, directions, orders, guidance, etc. notifications. All this became my what I could say metadata within my indexing DB as part of the embeddings. The moment if I don't do this, the performance of this application will fall down to the 30%. The moment if I have this power, it's entirely different. And then within the regulators, there are several regulators. So few regulators will be having the more number of items, we are having the less number of items. So the more number of circulars whoever is having, we take them and then we separate create one index for them in the pinecone db, the indexing db, vertex or pinecone, etc. So that when I'm searching that on the specific industry, it goes to the specific what I could say the index and perform. So that millions of records that I said, now I'm cutting down to the silos of just I'm helping the AI system to better perform. This is the techniques. I didn't give like chat GPT like the option open-ended option. You query anything, I will respond anything. Chat GPT, we are using the more of a general purpose. We are not solving any problem 100% using chat gpt. If you all realize, we are just only making use of it to generate certain application and a wow factor created, but it cannot do whatever I'm showing you. All is done by the other AI enabled tools in the development side. Using chat gpt also I can do it, but what it takes another tool for me 10 minutes, I need to spend maybe multiple hours on the chat GPT. So I can do in the chat GPT, but takes whole lot of effort. So what I did, some architectural decision I took to make it to work better. One number one. Number two, to the end user also I'm giving certain activity here rather than giving the open-ended. I gave certain the activity here for them to input so that I'm further narrowing down to the where to go for me to fetch the data. So at the next iteration, I have the option of like if somebody coming and entering the query over here, processing that query and identifying that from that query itself, I can populate this left and the top navbar both the items. I can simulate it internally, but I don't want to go to that extent of too much of time consumption. This can work for the market. Yes, proceed. So these are the techniques that I would like to just give to the audience to ensure that unless we pave the path in these one, two, three, four, four, like the stepping stones, it cannot fly the way we want it. And one of the backbone engine for any of the AI agentic world, these are a couple of things like documents and knowledge where you load whatever the data you want, like web scraping or your database or CRM or ERP or whatever the documents you want to upload. You give all that goes and inside embeddings will be created, and the tools you give the connectivity to the all the CRM and your WhatsApp, Telegram, email, whatnot, the Teams, everything you can give the integration so that it can pull and push the information. Channels you can publicize it to operate from mobile, you can operate from laptop, you can operate from tabs, you can operate from email, you can operate all the channels. Also, you can build it. Find out the user traffic. What is the user are trying to query? Once the user queries are coming in, by the way, maybe in the iteration that the slide that you asked me, pause for a second, Abdulji, there is something
Yeah.
of the iterations. Like what does it mean is you build first something, the training and maturing the model happens over the time for every a system. That's how it works. For that you need to have what is the user actually coming and trying to query your application. You need to capture mandatorily all the data. Once you see the data, if you feed in that data and if you can make use of AI to further model your application, it can go to the next level. That's the importance of it. So that user traffic measuring and user query measuring. Then in the settings, if you want to run with the various, today we have several LLMs and SLMs and uh, open source, Olama, etc. The LLM models and all these the various things are there. You can configure all of them in the settings and you can try it out. Measure your token consumption. It's very important where it is going, either in the query processing or in the fetching of the data or in generating and giving it or in the embedding cutting. There also you need to take, while you making the embeddings, there is a process called chunking and overlap. The proper chunking and the proper overlap will ensure the quality of the output that you receive. If you don't do that chunking and overlap in the appropriate way, your results, no matter how much you do in the rest of the areas, because the basic connectivity between the one uh, the embedding to the other embedding itself is missing. The other areas, how much you do, will not get it. All that can be measured based on the token consumption that you are going to track it and why it is taking that much, and you taking certain back steps to make it better. Will always give you. AI will not give you all the better results all the time. It is your techniques that gives you the better results. How you make AI to work. Then the all the regulators in place and their circulars if you want to directly catch it all. So this is the one of the probable application. Most of the AI agentic workflow systems are having that. To build that, this is the base technology where the data storage can be the a part of in the MySQL and a part of it in the vector database. If you ask an AI engineer, AI engineer will say that yeah, I need a vector database. But as I know both the worlds of transactional and as well as this AI and data warehouse, everything, I won't work without MySQL with only vector DB. No way, because I know the the benefits of it and how we can make the AI to work better. So we must need to have traditional SQL and the indexing databases both to take the part in the solution. Then the processing layer, LangChain, everyone uses it in the market where it is having a lot of the sub controls within that, the components that can help us for the indexing, chunking, and LLM connectivity, and the preparing the uh, uh, the bots, and the prompts and prompt change. All these are the inbuilt components available. Any programmer can consume it in the multiple technologies, .NET, Java, and Python. These are available. You can take it. And UI level, you can make use of it. Nowadays, we cannot avoid accessing applications on the mobile. So either mobile app or the traditional app in the PWA manner, you need to build it by design. You need to build it to fit into the mobile windows. So this is the traditional if you want to build it from the scratch. But I suggest unless a company is a tech savvy company already having so much of this knowledge can take part in it. Otherwise, there are many alternate ecosystems that has been built by the so many startups and other companies, and each one of these, even the major IBM and the AWS and these guys, Azure, those guys also built their own the agentic and as well as the what I can say, the RAG enabled systems in place, which will auto connect within their ecosystem. Like for example, Copilot we all heard. So Copilot has the ability based on instruction going and connecting to the your OneDrive and as well as the Teams and the Outlook and your ERP systems like as the CRM and Dynamic 365 Business Central. All these things automatically it has the ability to connect without you much saying. It will establish the connections. Same thing if you don't use Copilot, if you use the ChatGPT or something, you need to build out all integrations using your own mechanism, or you need to pull the API somewhere and then you need to do it. Same way we have the queue systems within the AWS. Those guys have the access to the within their the bedrock, what they have their the AI engine in the background. So for the bedrock and all this, it is already having the access inbuilt without you knowing. It is already connecting to all of them. S3 buckets and the bedrock and all these are inbuilt coming as soon as you give the query to build the system within the AWS. So go for Copilot if you're building the system in the Azure. Don't work with the AWS queue system in the Azure. That is the worst combination you can employ to get your results. That way, all these pioneered the large scale cloud companies already have their own built-in. Nevertheless, they also comes at a cost. We also have the other providers, other guys who are giving you at the kind of free of cost, some fee of them to an extent, at a low cost fee of them, and a meaningful cost few of them. That's how I could read it. For example, N8N. I use it massively for majority of my workflows. This guy is allowing rather than me building. Initially, I built it using the earlier architecture. I built a good number of solutions last 4 5 years. But in the recent days, I shifted my narration and story towards the N8N, where I can do it. I can shift that at the end to my workload to my system,
Okay.
not having any dependency with the N8N guys. So the thankfully they're giving that, and we are able to do it. So it is working out. So these are the alternate choices for us rather than building from the choice. They already have the inbuilt nodes for you to operate. I told you that wait node, HTTP node, AI node, and then email node. These are the primary ones. With the help of that, you can connect to the any system. These things are already inbuilt there. You can make use of it. LangGraph
So,
is the other guy, which is having the silicon of future, and there are open sources, Node-RED, etc. We can make use of these quickly build your AI systems. Whatever I have shown you earlier, you can build using these technologies too, so which are available at the free of cost or the low cost. These are the two alternatives for one to build it, either from the scratch or
so
making use of the applications available. So
Suresh,
then that's all.
just let us few more minutes, huh? So just
Yes, yes, done, done. I'm
Yeah.
at the last one or two. So, as I said, the challenges are there everywhere where first the team, the organization, the leadership, and the team need to be first mentally prepared that they're going towards the AI side and feed in all the required data in the right way that it can work. So, we need to have that kind of data quality and governance, somebody lead it and take the control of it. And the workforce need to have that kind of skill set to implement or to make it to work. And the integration to the legacy systems, as I said, that is the another one of the challenging thing we have seen. And the change management where operationally everyone coming to the together to work it. So that's what it is. So similar in the warehouse also we have the same kind, and here is one of the towards specifically for the transportation optimization, the freight audit, and the cost optimization to see that where you can reduce, and the spend intelligence you need to get it, and the spend management. On all these, you can deploy one AI analyst agent so that it can work with other agents to bring that results for us. Net net, I would like to just conclude it saying that uh, uh, it's encourage, I encourage and I promote. Definitely, a agentic world is having the far better benefits than the downside of it. So everyone can take the benefit out of it. So your data need to be right, your strategy need to be right. Then the a human in the loop you cannot avoid. How big, how efficient AI system you can build it. At the end, you need to have human in the loop just to certify certain areas. Not necessarily every area. Checks and balances can be kept, but human in the loop is necessary. So I would like to close, conclude my session over here. So if you have any specific questions, I will be happy to answer.
Very, very insightful lecture, Suresh Garu. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed, and I wanted to discuss about the platform you have just shown. Okay, so maybe of the meeting, I would like to definitely look into it. Okay, so thank you. I think we run out of time. We have three more sessions to go for. So I would like to thank Suresh Garu for giving a wonderful lecture. I think this lecture is designed for me to hear from Suresh Garu. Yeah, so it's fantastic event, and I
Thank you,
was
Abdulji.
echoing whenever you were saying something. You were answering some questions what I had. Okay, so that's fantastic.
Thank
And
you very much.
Suresh Garu is available for any answering any questions for the audience. Please post your questions. We'll make sure that those questions are answered. So thank you, Suresh Garu. Uh,